Miyamoto Musashi, a revered figure in the annals of martial arts, was not just a warrior of the sword, but also of the mind. While his duels and battles are legendary, it's essential to realize that it wasn't mere physical prowess that set him apart. Instead, it was his unparalleled ability to think clearly under pressure, making every strike deliberate, every defense a calculated move. The heartbeats of ancient Japan were felt most resonantly in the clash of steel and the quiet moments preceding them. Amidst this orchestra of chaos and calm, Musashi stood out, not just for his ability to defeat opponents, but also for the way he approached combat. At its core was the idea that mental clarity wasn't just an advantage, it was a necessity. As the world would later come to know through his writings, Musashi believed that the mind should be uncluttered, free from distractions, and always in the moment. This allowed him to perceive minute details, anticipate his opponent's moves, and act with precision. When blades crossed, it wasn't just metal meeting metal, it was a contest of clarity against confusion. It's easy to romanticize the samurai era and the duels that took place under cherry blossom trees. But at the heart of this romantic imagery was a brutal reality where one's life could end in an instant. Here, Musashi's emphasis on clear thinking wasn't just philosophical musings, it was a survival mechanism. In every duel, his life was on the line, and it was his mental sharpness, as much as his swordsmanship, that kept him alive. As we delve deeper into Musashi's teachings on clarity, remember this foundational truth. To Musashi, combat wasn't just about physical confrontation, it was a dance of the minds. And in this dance, only the clearest, most focused mind would emerge victorious. Lesson 1. Simplify the battlefield. Amid the roar of clashing swords and the tension-filled air of a duel, Musashi mastered an invaluable principle: simplicity. It might seem counterintuitive, given the intricate choreography of martial movements. However, for Musashi, decluttering the battlefield wasn't merely about the physical space, it was a reflection of his mental state. When we imagine a battlefield, we often picture chaos, countless variables, unpredictable opponents, and ever-changing dynamics. But in Musashi's eyes, a cluttered battlefield was a direct result of a cluttered mind. By removing unnecessary distractions and focusing only on what was essential, he turned these expansive arenas into manageable stages where he could shine. This idea of simplification extended to his combat techniques. Musashi was never one for showy moves or unnecessary flourishes. Instead, he honed in on the core principles of his fighting style, refining each movement to its most efficient form. By distilling his techniques down to their essence, he ensured that every motion had purpose, every strike was calculated, and there was no wasted energy. But how can Musashi's principle of simplification apply to us in modern times? Consider the distractions we face daily, the barrage of notifications, the constant influx of information, and the never-ending to-do lists. Like Musashi, we must learn to cut through the noise, focusing only on what truly matters. Whether it's in our professional lives or personal pursuits, the ability to simplify, prioritize, and act with deliberate intention is crucial. In essence, Musashi teaches us that the clarity of purpose comes from simplifying our approach. By reducing the variables and streamlining our actions, we can navigate the complexities of modern life with the same precision and efficiency as Musashi did on the ancient battlefields of Japan. Lesson 2. Trust your intuition. In the midst of a duel, there's no time for contemplation or second-guessing. The briefest hesitation can spell defeat. Miyamoto Musashi, having faced numerous opponents in his lifetime, knew this all too well. His remedy? Deeply ingrained intuition, sharpened through relentless practice and unwavering dedication. For Musashi, intuition wasn't some mystical or innate power that he was born with. Rather, it was a skill meticulously cultivated over time. Each training session, each duel, and each observation of another's combat was an opportunity to refine this instinct. His practice routines were not just about physical prowess, but also about instilling a sense of intuition about when to strike, when to defend, and when to maneuver. This is not to say that Musashi acted rashly or without thought. On the contrary, he had a profound understanding of strategy and technique. However, he recognized that in high-stakes situations, one doesn't always have the luxury of time. It's in these moments that intuition, built upon a foundation of knowledge and experience, becomes paramount. Musashi's battles often required split-second decisions, where a sudden change in an opponent's stance or a glint of sunlight on a blade could signal an incoming attack. Relying on his well-honed instincts allowed him to act swiftly, turning potential threats into opportunities. So how can we, in today's world, harness this lesson from Musashi? It begins with understanding that intuition is not about rejecting logic or reason. Instead, it's about striking a balance. We must dedicate ourselves to our chosen crafts or professions, immerse ourselves in learning, and most importantly, apply our knowledge repeatedly until it becomes second nature. In a world awash with data and information, trusting one's gut might seem archaic. Yet, Musashi's lessons remind us that when faced with a barrage of choices, sometimes our intuition, molded by our experiences and knowledge, can guide us to the right decision with unparalleled precision. Lesson 3. Ground yourself in the present. Each duel, each encounter, demanded his absolute presence, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. This wasn't just a tactic, it was a philosophy he lived by. The past, with its entanglements of regrets, can often cast long shadows, clouding judgment and affecting current decisions. Similarly, the uncertainty of the future, with its myriad possibilities, can evoke anxiety and apprehension. Musashi understood that these were distractions that could diminish one's ability to act decisively. Hence, he stressed the significance of grounding oneself in the current moment. But Musashi's immersion in the present wasn't merely a byproduct of his combat lifestyle. It was an intentional practice, echoing the principles of Zen Buddhism, which emphasized mindfulness and total engagement with one's current activity. By being entirely in the moment, Musashi could perceive subtle shifts in his opponent's stance, detect vulnerabilities, and respond with impeccable timing. Yet, how does one apply such a principle in our modern, fast-paced world? The first step is recognizing the value of the present. It means understanding that the only moment we truly have control over is the one happening right now. By deliberately channeling our attention to our current activity, whether it's a task, conversation, or even leisure, we can increase our productivity, enhance our relationships, and most importantly, find contentment. Musashi's focus on the now teaches us a fundamental lesson about life. While we cannot change the past and the future remains uncertain, embracing the present moment with its challenges and opportunities can pave the way for clarity, purpose, and meaningful action. Lesson 4. Seek understanding, not just knowledge. Miyamoto Musashi was not just a swordsman but a strategist and philosopher. His philosophy transcended beyond mere techniques into the realm of genuine comprehension. In our modern age, we're often lured into the trap of accumulating vast amounts of information without truly understanding any of it. Musashi's approach, though rooted in the world of martial arts, offers a poignant lesson for our information-saturated era. For Musashi, knowing a sword technique wasn't enough. He delved into the core of each move, grasping its essence and the circumstances where it would be most effective. It was this depth of understanding that allowed him to adapt, innovate, and employ tactics that his adversaries did not anticipate. For instance, while any skilled warrior could learn the moves of the Niten Ichi-ryu, Musashi's two-sword technique, very few could understand its spirit and the strategy behind its flow. This depth of understanding was what distinguished Musashi from other swordsmen. Applying this to our lives means going beyond rote learning or superficial knowledge. It's about questioning, probing, and diving deep into subjects to grasp their underlying principles. Whether in academics, professions, or personal pursuits, true mastery comes from understanding the why and not just the how. Consider a musician who can play complex compositions, but feels the music's soul, compared to one who plays the same notes without passion. Or think of a chef who understands the essence of each ingredient, not just its taste. Like Musashi, these individuals go beyond the surface, touching the very heart of their craft. In seeking understanding over mere knowledge, we open doors to creativity, innovation, and genuine expertise. As Musashi demonstrated, it's this depth that leads to mastery, allowing us to stand out and make meaningful contributions in our chosen fields. Lesson 5. Embrace solitude for reflection. Amid the cacophony of battle cries, clanging swords, and the pressures of warfare, Miyamoto Musashi found a paradoxical ally: solitude. This legendary samurai, who remains unbeaten in duels, frequently retreated into seclusion. But why? For him, solitude was not an escape, but a strategy, a conscious choice to craft a clear mind. Our contemporary world is characterized by constant noise, digital distractions, and a relentless onslaught of information. It's easy to lose ourselves in this digital age's whirlwind, where solitude is often misunderstood as loneliness or isolation. However, Musashi's life teaches us otherwise. After his notable duels, Musashi would withdraw to remote places, caves, mountains, isolated huts, where silence reigned supreme. Here, free from distractions, he would engage in deep reflection, dissecting his actions, decisions, and strategies. It was in these moments of isolation that his most profound insights were birthed, which later culminated in his legendary treatise, The Book of Five Rings. Solitude afforded Musashi the space to reflect on his experiences, learn from them, and crystallize his philosophy. It gave him the mental bandwidth to distinguish the essential from the inconsequential. Such reflection, born from solitude, refined his strategies, making them razor-sharp in clarity. For us, embracing solitude might mean unplugging from digital distractions, taking long walks without our phones, or dedicating time daily for introspection. It's in these quiet moments that our mind declutters, our thoughts align, and our inner voice becomes audible. Like Musashi, we can use solitude as a powerful tool to refine our thoughts, hone our focus, and sharpen our strategies. In the words of Musashi, there is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside of yourself. And it's in the embrace of solitude that we truly begin to understand and tap into this boundless inner reservoir. Avoiding cognitive overload, the Musashi way in a modern world. In the days of Miyamoto Musashi, the world was devoid of the constant digital buzz, the overwhelming flow of online information, and the incessant pull of social media notifications. Yet even in that seemingly simpler era, the potential for cognitive overload existed, especially for a warrior navigating the intricacies of combat, strategy, and human psychology. Musashi's brilliance wasn't just in his unparalleled swordsmanship, but also in his ability to maintain mental clarity amidst chaos, thus avoiding cognitive overload. Musashi's strategic approach was rooted in minimalism. Instead of accumulating multiple weapons, he focused on mastering the two-sword technique. This mirrors a principle vital for today's world: depth over breadth. Rather than trying to juggle multiple tasks simultaneously, delving deep into one task at a time ensures focus and reduces the chances of mental fatigue. Moreover, Musashi's emphasis on understanding one's environment, opponent, and self was pivotal in preventing information paralysis. He believed in the essence of understanding, not just superficial knowledge. Today, we are often swamped with vast amounts of data, but lack the depth of understanding. Musashi's way reminds us to discern the vital from the trivial, urging us to pursue comprehension over mere information accumulation. Meditation and introspection were integral to Musashi's routine. Periods of reflection allowed him to process experiences, consolidate learning, and clear his mind of unnecessary clutter. In an age of endless notifications and information streams, the practice of mindfulness, taking deliberate breaks, and periodic digital detoxes can be our shield against cognitive fatigue. Lastly, Musashi was a lifelong learner but knew the importance of discernment. He imbibed lessons that resonated with his core philosophies and discarded the rest. In today's age of information abundance, the ability to sift through information, absorbing what's relevant, and dismissing the redundant is crucial in maintaining mental clarity. In essence, Musashi's strategies to avoid cognitive overload in the volatile world of samurai duels have profound implications for our modern lives. In an era where our minds are besieged by information, seeking inspiration from Musashi could be the key to navigating the modern world with the same clarity, focus, and purpose that this legendary samurai exhibited on the battlefield. The role of environment, designing clarity through setting. The surroundings in which we position ourselves play a pivotal role in molding our thoughts and actions. Musashi often chose serene settings for his most intense training sessions and strategizing periods. Whether it was the tranquil cave where he penned the Book of Five Rings, or the peaceful terrains where he trained, these environments were stripped of distractions, allowing for undiluted focus. They weren't just places, they were purposeful selections to cultivate clear thinking. Such settings enabled Musashi to connect deeper with his inner self, refine his techniques, and forge strategies without interference. In our contemporary world, Musashi's choice offers a profound lesson. The environments we curate for ourselves, whether it's a quiet corner at home, a serene park, or even digital spaces, can either enhance or impair our clarity of thought. By consciously designing our surroundings, much like Musashi did, we can foster an environment that cultivates focus, introspection, and innovation. Harnessing emotions. Musashi's mastery over mental turbulence. Emotions, in their rawest form, are powerful drivers. They can spur us into action, drown us in despair, or cloud our clearest judgments. For a warrior like Musashi, the battle wasn't just against opponents, but also against the turmoil of internal emotions. To him, emotions like fear, anger, or overconfidence were like treacherous terrains on a battlefield. Recognizing them and navigating them with precision was the key. One of Musashi's greatest teachings is not to let emotions override strategy. In the heat of a duel, a clear, strategic mind was the difference between life and death. Emotions had to serve the strategist, not cloud him. This lesson holds immense value today. In a world where decisions are often made on impulses and reactions are amplified by digital echo chambers, Musashi's philosophy urges us to pause, reflect, and not let transient emotions dictate our actions. By mastering our emotions, just like Musashi, we can navigate life's battles with clarity, precision, and wisdom. Routine and discipline. Crafting clarity through consistency. Every day, Musashi engaged in rituals that sharpened both his body and mind. From practicing his swordsmanship at dawn to meditating during tranquil evenings, each activity was a deliberate effort to refine his skills and understanding. These weren't just physical exercises. They were mental workouts that enhanced his focus, patience, and strategic thinking. Such routines did more than just prepare Musashi for duels. They anchored him, provided structure, and kept his mind free from clutter. By dedicating specific times of the day to training, reflection, and rest, Musashi ensured that he was always in a state of mental readiness. This rigorous discipline became his second nature, allowing him to access a reservoir of clarity when faced with unpredictable challenges. In today's fast-paced world, where distractions are but a click away, Musashi's commitment to routine offers a profound lesson. It's a testament to the power of disciplined consistency in cutting through noise and fostering clear thinking. Whether it's setting aside time for deep work, practicing mindfulness, or engaging in physical activity, cultivating daily rituals can be a catalyst for enhanced mental acuity and clarity in our modern lives. Musashi, through his life and writings, has provided a blueprint for achieving unparalleled mental clarity. His principles, born from the heat of battle and quiet moments of reflection, offer more than just martial insights. They are life lessons. In an era where confusion can reign supreme, Musashi's teachings guide us like a beacon, illuminating a path to clear thinking and decisive action. Whether on the battlefield or in board meetings, embracing these lessons ensures that our thoughts remain unclouded, our vision sharp, and our actions purposeful. No matter the age or challenge, Musashi's wisdom on thinking clearly stands as an enduring testament to the human spirit's ability to rise, adapt, and conquer.